Hello, and happy day, everyone. It's been a hot minute. Super excited to be here with you this evening. You almost caught me trying to find the live. Anyway, before we dive in, if you found us, obviously you're here. If so, please go ahead and share, like, and comment on today's show. Let your folks know that we are here in case you're not sure what you're watching and who I am, because it's been a hot minute. You are currently watching Joanne's Healing Within, and I am your host, Dr. Reverend Joanne Intuvari Clone. I am a certified holistic personal trainer, medical astrologer, master of numerology, author, publisher, speaker. The list goes on. I serve, help, and transform women over 40, helping them to release emotional weight without dieting, while holding space for them as they gain confidence and courage to step away from their 9 to 5, outdated relationships, and old subconscious beliefs so they can fully embrace their soul's calling. So now that you know a little bit about me, what it is I do, today we have a hot topic, a big topic. And the topic is detoxing in midlife. Now, I shortened the topic for the show, but the actual whole topic is detoxing in midlife, a holistic approach to nourishment, not separation. I seem to be freezing, but that's okay. We're going to get through this show. We're going to do what we have to do. I want to share some insight with you regarding the energy that we're in right now, as we are in a lot. There is so much going on, planetarily speaking, electromagnetically speaking. Oh my God. And I'm kind of curious to know if each and every one of you are experiencing these shifts that we have going on. Since we have entered 2025, we entered shall we say, a new pathway, a new passage, where this is the first time since 2025 where we are actually experiencing many planets shifting. And for most part, we've gotten through a good majority of those planets that have shifted. We started off in the ending of 2024 with Pluto moving out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, which is all about transforming, dying off anything that no longer serves, and really revolutionizing where we're going into this world. And then from that point, we've experienced Neptune and also Saturn moving into Aries, where both Neptune and Saturn spent some time in Pisces. Neptune the last 14 years, Saturn the last 3. Neptune is about the spiritual evolution and our spiritual growth, tapping into our higher consciousness. Saturn is really about rewiring, restructuring who we are, releasing what no longer serves, and stepping more into our karmic cycles. And now that both are sitting in Aries energy, this is about who you are, why you're here, and who you're here to serve, and what legacy you're going to leave behind. And then, as we move into all of that, we are currently, as of tomorrow, which is April 7th, through the 25th, we will be feeling this shift happening with Uranus, the planet of destruction, chaos, unpredictability, and also the process of shifts happening in Taurus energy, where it's been sitting for the last 8 years. Taurus is about your relationships, your physical material possessions, your money, how you value yourself, and how you value everything else around you. Between Uranus sitting in Taurus energy, we will literally be experiencing what's called the 29-degree, which is the end point. And those of you who do carry strong Taurus energy, such as your sun, moon, or ascending, you're going to be feeling this transition happening in that 29-degree. It's a powerful degree. It's a degree, what we call the ending. It's literally in the last degree before the planet shifts into the next sign, which will be Gemini, where Uranus will sit in Gemini's energy for the next 8 years. When we think about Uranus sitting in Gemini's energy, we're already starting to see and experience that energy of Gemini. Gemini is about technology. Gemini is about how we communicate, how we network, how we brainstorm, podcasting, writing, books, etc. It's all about that. And technology within itself, we're already experiencing a lot of shifts happening between AI and things that, let's say, drones delivering our items that we are purchasing, and so much more coming in with Uranus moving into Gemini's energy. So in this final 29-degree, we'll say the next 2.5 weeks, as Uranus sits in Taurus, this is where we're going to experience those changes happening with relationships with ourselves and others, and how we're seeing our money, how we look, how what we're looking to invest our money in, and how we're looking to even raise or charge higher for the services that we do offer, because our services are worth so much more than what most of us usually are spending in. Now, the next shifts that are about to take place will be also with Jupiter moving out of Cancer and then moving into Leo energy. And that itself will be quite an interesting transition, as we will also have our nodes getting ready to move out of Pisces and Virgo, which has been an interesting time with our nodes both in Pisces and Virgo, because it really was about the physical body and our intuition, which is one of the reasons why so many of us, including me, have experienced many physical symptoms occurring in the body, because it's our body's way of communicating with us to either let us know that something needs to be realigned or something's out of line in regards to that. We need to work on healing our mindset, emotions, our physical well-being, and so forth and so forth. So as we experience those two other shifts with the nodes as well, moving into Leo in Aquarius, there'll be a lot of energy sitting in Leo's energy. And more so, there'll be a lot of energy sitting between fire and air. And I will be spending more time on that topic every week moving into that energy. But for today, we're going to be really speaking about the whole process of detoxing in midlife. I like to pull a card to get us in the rhythm, see what we need to know, and then, whoops. Cards are flying. They are flying. I think they're flying because I haven't used them in a while, so they're feeling a little neglected. Anyway, the card that happens to be popping up, which is an interesting card, it's about fate. And it's so appropriate because when we talk about this energy that we are moving into, how things are changing and how we're seeing things change in reference to the global energy, in reference to politics, everything is really moving in the right direction. And if you do trust in faith, you'll know that that is the case. The color is associated with the heart chakra. Now, as I mentioned before, with all this energy we're experiencing, the electromagnetic shifts and waves that are happening, the upgrades in our frequency, we're going to feel that energy in our heart as well, and in other areas of the body too. The number 5, 6 is perfectly aligned with that 11. Whereas when we talk about this month in itself, where we're in April's energy, based on numerology, every letter is associated with a number. And if we take the letters in the word April, and we actually looked at what each of those letters were associated with, you will find out that it adds up to the number 11. So this month of April holds the energy of mastery. What are you mastering in this month of April? Now you bring the whole combination together between the month of April, which is the 4, which is all about balance, stability. It's about working diligently on something. And it is really about your structure regarding your physical body, your structure regarding your home, and your structure regarding your workplace, if in fact you're not working from home. In addition, we bring the energy of the year into play, which is 2026. Those numbers are very powerful energies. Before we break it down to a single digit, we want to remember that that adds up to a 10. And when we think about that 10 and we think about the 4, the oppositions of each other, the 4 represents the Aries energy, and the 10 represents the Capricorn's energy, which is actually not necessarily an opposition based on the signs itself, but the 4 is about being home, and the 10 is about the energy that we hold regarding our work that we're here to do, our soul's purpose for that matter. So the big question when we talk about Aries and April's energy and mastery is, who are you? Why are you here? and what legacy do you want to leave behind? And if you haven't been thinking about that already for the last, give and take, 4 months, 6 months, or even last year, you may start to think about that as we move into all of this planetary shifts, especially with Uranus moving into Gemini, because I would say, out of all the different planets that have transitioned, Uranus is a big one because it is about the chaos. It is about the destruction that we're experiencing. Anything that we're not aligned with is where we're going to actually start to see a big shift happening. Again, the electromagnetic frequencies shifting. So what are you mastering in? So when we take that 4 and a 10, remember that's your soul's work, we're going to reduce it down to that 1. But remember that 0 makes a big deal too, because that 0 is a reminder that based on astrology, 0 degree is a new beginning. It's where we're going, what direction we're going into. And you may be at a crossroad right now trying to figure out, should you go right or should you go left? Well, if you don't know the answer to that just yet, know that once Uranus makes its way into Gemini, so basically the next 2.5 weeks at this 29 degree, which also adds to 11, by the way, this is your mastery period. Once we do move out of April's energy, hopefully you have mastered in something in this energy. So that 4 and that 1 adds to a 5. So the energy of April, the entire month of April, is about 5, which is about freedom speaking. It's about travel. It's about creativity. It's about self-expression. It's about change. What is going to change for you? And can you hold on to faith for that change to happen? So all that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial, and then we're going to come back and dive into the conversation. Hello, and welcome back. And again, you almost caught me because I'm still trying to find the show live, and for whatever the reasons are, I'm having a challenging time. So if you are watching with me right now, I'd like to say thank you, and I will come back later and give you a shout out and comment to you as well. If you are just tuning in and you missed the first part of our conversation, no worries. You are watching Joanne Sealing Within. I am your host, Dr. Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. Super excited to be here with you. Now, as always, I always come back to the card to talk a little bit about what I chatted about in the first part of the show. And the card is always so important because it's about maintaining a faith. The color is green, so it's about the matters of the heart. The number is 56, which is about that 5, is about that change that we're about to experience. As I broke it down in the first part, the month of April carries the total frequency vibration of the 5 vibration, although the letters in April represents the number 11. So this is about mastering in something in the month of April. How will you change? Where are you going to get your freedom? How are you going to travel? Are you traveling between worlds for that matter? When I say that, meaning in a sleep state, or maybe even in your daydreams where you're receiving messages. It's really important to pay attention because that 11 is a big reminder. The 6 in this energy is also about your physical body. It's about your nervous system. It's about becoming more attuned to your physical body so you can pay attention to when your physical body is providing messages for you, which is a really great gateway into the conversation regarding tonight's information, where it's about detoxing in midlife. You know, for those of you that are familiar with detoxing, whether you've ever been on a cleanse before, or you've decided that you wanted to just maybe minimize your eating habits or cut back a little bit because maybe you've just felt a little off-centered, maybe you've just felt heavy, whatever have you, and you've made a decision that you wanted to go onto a detox or a cleanse. Now, to start off with, when we speak about detox and we speak about cleansing, let's talk about the fact of that, what they're really for, as opposed to what has become what I like to call a fitness trend. Now, sadly to say, when it comes to the health and fitness industry, we often fall into a lot of fitness trends with different things because, for whatever the reasons are, they work for a while, everybody gets on it, and then over time, eventually they fade away or they don't fade away, whatever have you. And we seem to be in this space probably within the last, I don't know, couple of years, where so many of us are so super focused, hyper focused on wanting to quote unquote lose weight, become smaller, become lighter on the scale. Now, the one thing I know to be true when we talk about weight and becoming lighter on the scale, when we speak about midlife, when we speak about perimenopause, when we speak about menopause in itself, the one thing we women really want to focus on is less about what the scale says and more about health and wellness. And reason being is because when we talk about detoxing or cleansing, when you're doing it for the sole purpose of wanting to drop the number on the scale to be thinner, what you're missing on or being misled about is the whole concept of thinking that this is the way to go about reaching that goal weight that you're looking to accomplish. The disadvantage to this, though, is that by detoxing or cleansing, and for doing it long stretches of time, you will lose essential weight, meaning you will lose muscle. You will lose a little bit of water or a lot of water and very little fat. And when we are in midlife, perimenopause, or menopause, the one thing we do not want to do is to lose muscle. And the reason being is muscle is literally the key to our longevity. And if we lose it, it's really hard to get it back. So we really want to pay attention to why we're choosing to go into a detox or a cleanse. So I have a question for you when we talk about detox and cleanse. So I wrote a little note, something I don't usually do, but when the topic is really important, I want to bring out some highlights. So when we think about the topics, detox has become a popular ritual and maintained as a quick fix to reset the body and release toxins. Now, the question many may ask, and I've been asked this question by many, is how often should one detox? And the better question and the better statement should be, the deeper, more powerful question you want to ask is, how can I support my body so it functions in harmony without constant cleansing? I'm going to read that again because I really want you to pay attention to that. So the question is, how often should I detox? And the answer is, the deeper, more powerful question is, how can I support my body so it functions in harmony without constant cleansing? And that's deep when we think about it. In regards to, I always say the why. Why are we choosing to detox? What is going on in our life at the time where we're feeling a little out of sorts, where we feel the need to theoretically deprive ourselves, and I use the word deprive ourselves and put ourselves on these intensive rituals for whatever period of time. And we really need to define the why behind why we're doing what we're doing. Now, I know many years back, many people participated in detox and cleansings based on specific rituals. Like a common ritual for detoxing purification is when we experience a full moon, or we experience an equinox, or we're experiencing um, a lunar or solar eclipse. And during that period of time, a detox or cleanse may be a ritual one may go on in order to be more aligned with the energy of whether it is the lunar eclipse, um, a full moon, an equinox, whatever have you, to be aligned with that energy to lighten out the body. Now, again, we need to define the why. Why are we choosing to detox? Why are we choosing for this cleanse? And more importantly, when we talk about the why, and once we understand the why, how long? How long do we want to focus on detoxing our body? Once we understand our why, are we doing it for the sole purpose of, we'll say, a full moon, which we just had? We just had this beautiful full moon in Libra's energy. And when we think about a full moon Libra energy, from the time the moon works its way to be the fullest, is 3 days before and then 3 days after. So we'll give it take, say, 7 days, where if you are doing your detox ritual based on the full moon's energy to release, based on whatever that is you're looking to release. When we talk about a Libra's moon, Libra is really all about finding that balance between harmony, finding that balance between justifying what it is you want your body to do for you on a spiritual perspective, understanding that spiritual notation and spiritual passage that you're actually performing this detox in, which is a 7 day detox. And usually during that detox, you're consuming light foods such as soups, um, light fruits, maybe some light vegetables, and just keeping your body in that state of nourishing it based on the energy of that full moon for that 7 day period. The detox is not used for getting on a scale to see if you quote unquote lost weight, because that's not what your why is when it's in defining to the full moon's ritual in itself. So when we think about this energy in regards to why we choose to do a ritual, what are the benefits behind the ritual, and how long is this detox going to be, understanding those are your major highlights to why you do what you do. I do want to bring up some other points when we speak of the detoxing. Just give me a minute to find my notes. Sometimes I have notes and sometimes I don't, depending on the conversation that we are having. So when we think about the process of understanding that you really want your body to be able to support itself, to function in harmony without the constant cleansing. Where when we think about being truthful, what ends up happening is your body was divinely designed to detox every day, every single day, in order for your liver to function, for your kidneys to eliminate, for your lymphatic system to circulate, your breath to release, your skin to purify. This is what your body does naturally. Now, if for whatever the reasons are, your body is not doing that naturally, then there's a deeper layer that we may need to look at in regards to why is your body not functioning in a natural state of being? Why is your body not in harmony? And then that's where we really go and tap into the deeper layers to what is actually going on with you emotionally, physically, and mentally. And that itself may be one of the reasons why you may have a challenging time in regards to your body processing and being more in alignment and in harmony, as opposed to constantly focusing on a detox or a cleanse as a way to sort of, what I'm hearing is sort of tricking the body to become more into alignment. So we want to pay attention to that aspect in regards to why we're doing what we're doing. When we think about the process based on a midlife shift, from a depletion to nourishment, as women transition into midlife, the body begins to shift hormonally, metabolically, and energetically. What we used to be able to do in our 20s and 30s, skipping meals, doing juice cleanses, and going for fasting for long periods of time, by the time we do hit midlife, perimenopause, and menopause, our body is not wired to do that anymore. And a big part of that, and I'm going to contradict myself as I just said that, a big part of why our bodies are not wired to do that anymore is because we might have spent a lot of time in our 20s and 30s skipping meals and fasting, which then draws off our regulation system within our body. So therefore, our body becomes out of alignment. During many perimenopause and menopause, your body is asking for stability, nourishment, consistency, and not extremes. This is how we bring our bodies back into balance, is by providing the stability, providing the nourishment, providing the consistency, and not going to extremes. So when we think of these energies and understanding the process of why we're choosing to detox, why we're choosing to cleanse, I want you to take a breath there for just a moment. I want you to understand that concept. Because when we think about the process of frequent detoxing, especially restrictive detoxes, what can happen, what can it lead to, is a source of muscle loss, slowed metabolism, hormone disruption, and increased fractures. So again, I just want you to take a moment here just to think about that, just for just a second, based on when we think about midlife, and based on what many women often talk about in this chapter of life, where they go into their midlife, they go into the perimenopause. Most women talk about hot flashes, frozen shoulder, bloat. And a lot of this has more to do with the fact that you are throwing your body out of alignment through detoxing, because you are literally slowing your metabolism down. You are literally causing your body to go through this imbalance to what your body's used to. So we want to pay attention to, again, the why behind detoxing and cleansing. So I'm going to leave you there for just a moment. We're going to take a quick commercial break just to give you a little time to digest this information. So when we come back, we're going to go a little deeper into this conversation. I'm going to offer you 6 disadvantages to detoxing, and we're going to dive into this conversation a little deeper than usual. So let's take that commercial break, and I'll be right back. Did you know that astrology and numerology are the keys to helping you raise your vibration, understanding your unconscious behaviors, and will help you discover who you are from a soul level? Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Colon, the founder of Holistic Fitness located in Queens. You're a certified and licensed holistic personal trainer, holistic integrative teacher, Reiki master, medical astrologer, master of numerology, card creator, and card reader. I would love for you to come join me every Sunday for 12 weeks to discover your astrological and numerology makeup. For more information, email healingwithin76@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you bridge the spiritual and physical realms as you experience a body and soul transformation. Hello and welcome back. For those of you who are just tuning in, you are watching Joanne's Healing Within, and I am your Dr. Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. And our topic today is detoxing in midlife, a holistic approach to nourishment, not deprivation. Now, again, if you're just tuning in, you're definitely going to come back and watch this from the beginning. I've shared a lot of insight regarding getting to know our why, to why we choose to detox, and even more, as many have asked, how often should one detox? And the better question isn't about how often one should detox. The answer is, how can we support our bodies so that it can function in harmony without constant cleansings? Now, the true answer when we think about if you really wanted to go through the process of detoxing the body on the most safest way possible, the number to that answer is, if you were to detox within a 365-day period, the recommendation is no more than two detoxes in the course of 1 year. And again, as that's usually like the point. And for most, when we will detox or desire to detox, it's usually during a equinox or solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, or very strong full moon's energy, which is usually when we have rituals such as that. It's just to align our bodies with the energy of whatever zodiac sign the full moon is in, to help release what we need to release at the time. Now, when we speak about detoxing and we speak about the disadvantage of detoxing and how it plays a huge role on our muscle in particular, because as you reach life, it is directly connected to your metabolism. So again, many women talk about how when they reach a certain age, their metabolism slows down. Their body is not capable of metabolizing the food that they used to eat when they were in their 20s and 30s. In theory, that is not so. In theory, our bodies are capable of metabolizing food of what we might have eaten when we were 20 and 30, if in fact we are supporting our metabolism with muscle tissue. However, again, when we detox, and we're doing a detox more often than usual, our muscle is the first thing that's affected through a detox. So we do really want to pay attention to the concept that if you are noticing that your metabolism becomes sluggish, you may want to evaluate how often you are actually experiencing or going through a detox, because it really is not necessarily about your body is not capable of metabolizing food. It's the fact that you are causing your muscles to be impact through your detoxification. So we think about your metabolism. We also think about your strength and and bone health, and even hormonal balance, which is all affected through putting yourself through intensified detoxifications or cleansing your body at a given time. It's so important for women to really pay attention when detoxing becomes too often or too much, especially without accurate protein. Again, as we are hearing more and more, again, using the word trends, protein is a big trend in regards to midlife, whereas we do need more protein into our diet because of the factor that our bodies are changing. So again, if we are going through detoxes, most likely more than usual, we are not getting the recommended protein intake that we do need in order to maintain hormonal health and also maintain muscle health as well. So we want to pay attention to these particular situations as we're processing this idea of going through a detox. What is your reason to go through a detox? As mentioned again, we really want to define the why to why you're choosing to go on a detox. When we think about the process of a daily detox, the foundation of the wellness, instead of thinking about detoxing as something you start and stop, begin to see it as a daily lifestyle practice where we're learning how to again allow our bodies to naturally do what the body is capable of doing, that it naturally does on its own. A true detox happens in small, consistent choices that you make each day. Hydration is your first medicine. So you want to hydrate your body. The more you hydrate your body, the more you're going to allow your body to detox, flush out whatever toxins you might have put in your body. So hydration, when we use the word hydration, yes, that is water, but it's also electrolytes as well because we want to nourish our cellular system as well as we want to nourish our bodies as well. So hydration is your first medicine. When you drink water, especially with minerals such as again electrolytes, you're supporting your kidneys, your digestion, and your cellular function. That is again the rule of detoxing. I'm sure again another fitness trend that we've been hearing is first thing in the morning before you decide to have your breakfast or even your cup of coffee is that you want to have a 16 ounce of hot water, such as a hot tea, with squeezed lemon in it. The lemon itself is going to help you detox whatever you need to detox whatever it is you've chosen to eat that might be causing an imbalance in your body. Again, the rule of thumb is to recognize that we want to have that balance. It's not about being totally strict and restricting yourself from enjoying certain foods, but it is having a balance and knowing that when you do learn to balance your foods and enjoy what you want to enjoy and bring that, like I like to call that 70-30%. 70% of the time you're eating really well and healthy. 30% of the time you're indulging, fueling, and feeding your body what your inner child may be desiring. So we want to pay attention to that. Next rule of thumb is the nourishment in your second pillar. Eating balanced meals that include protein, healthy fats, fibers, and carbohydrates ensures your body has the tools it needs to repair, rebuild, release what no longer needs. So again, that balance of nutrition. When we go and we restrict ourselves or we do a detox or a cleanse, there's a good probability we're not getting the nutrients that our body requires for full functioning and to maintain the muscles that you want to maintain. Movement is the third form of detox. Moving your body in reference to taking that walk. Again, another trend that's been going on is that we want to move our bodies after we've had a meal. So if you've had breakfast, you want to make sure you get that 10-minute walk. If you've had a lunch, you want to get that 10-minute walk. You have dinner, you want to get that 10-minute walk. I say 10 minutes because at the end of the day, you get a nice, good 30-minute walk throughout the day to keep everything functioning. It is key. Another part of movement is making sure that you're getting your strength training into play. So you are supporting your muscles. You are building more muscles, and that's key to longevity for women in midlife, perimenopause, and menopause. When we speak about the strength training and then stretching stimulates the limbic system, which does not move on its own. Your body needs motion to release stagnation. It's like I always say, put on some good music and dance it out. It's going to move your body. It helps to move the energy in the body, especially when we're thinking about the electromagnetic frequency shifts that we've been experiencing over the last, oh my God, almost, 4 months into 2026? We've been feeling them since 2025. These electromagnetic shifts that are happening are literally going to our system, our chakra system, and our nervous system. And if for whatever the reasons are, your energy is stagnant, you may feel that stagnation showing up as physical symptoms because the energy is not moving through your system. And that's again the reason why we want to incorporate movement. And the key components again is moving to help detox, through walking, through strength training, through stretching, just to help the entire system, not just one over the other. These are natural ways to detox your body without putting yourself under these extreme deprivations of detoxing and cleansing that put your body under huge harm. Another concept is breath. In your fourth detox pathway is breathing. We need to learn how to take deep, intentional breaths. How many of us breathe or hold our breaths and we don't even realize we're holding our breath? So we need to pay attention to the deep, intentional breathing that allows your body to release the carbon dioxide and calms the nervous system. Now, we've been hearing the word nervous system very often as not necessarily a fitness trend, but again, one of the reasons why many women in midlife experience such horrific symptoms is because their nervous system is totally out of whack due to everything that's going on externally and all the things you're doing internally as well. So we want to pay attention to making sure we're breathing to help release carbon dioxide and to calm down our nervous system and reducing the stress of related toxicity. When we think about the daily practices are in place, your body detoxes naturally, without shock, without stress, and without deprivation. Very important to pay attention to. A monthly reset honoring the rhythm of your body is cool. It's not an overdose. We always want to bring the body back to the rhythm, allowing things to cycle. Just like the weather, where we move from winter into spring, and then eventually summer, and then to fall. There's certain foods we want to eat based on the seasons. And if you're not familiar with what foods to eat based on the seasons, you can go ahead and talk to Google and ask Google to help you out to really become more aligned and in tune with what the foods are that's aligned with our seasons. This way here, you can also be aligned with your body as well. So I know that's a lot of information to take in and understand and really embrace, but this is the way you want to bring your body back into the rhythm. This is how you want to allow yourself to continue to cycling or have transitions into menopause, where they're aligned with monthly resets and can deeply be supportive. Now, again, if you've been following me on a regular basis, my process, my perception in regards to menopause, perimenopause, or even midlife for that matter, menopause is really the portal helping us to pause the masculine energy, the doing, the doing, the doing. We're constantly trying to do something. We're trying to force our bodies to do something where we may not necessarily be in the chapter to be doing. So if you are in a time in your life right now where you happen to be holding on to a little bit of weight, that weight may be there for particular reasons. If you are grieving, maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you lost a job, maybe you've lost yourself. You may be in a time where your body is going to be craving, we're going to use that word for today, craving sweets to bring the sweetness back into your life. And these are just metaphysical understandings and metaphysical truths when it comes to menopause. But the logistics of when we think about detoxing and the understanding of the harm that it does to your body when you are consistently detoxing your body more than twice a year, and that it becomes unhealthy and throws your entire metabolic system off track, your nervous system off track, and you also are at a higher risk of muscle loss, and that puts a whole lot of stress on your body when you're in this next chapter of life. So those are things that I want you to pay attention to. I am going to also share, as I mentioned, before we take a commercial break, the concepts of 6 detox mistakes. And there is a flyer that will show up later that you'll see as well. 6 detox mistakes that women over 40 are making. Detoxing too frequently, meaning doing more than 2 a year. Again, we always want to ask ourselves, if we are detoxing or if we feel like we need a detox, then we need to ask ourselves, how can we support our bodies so it can function in harmony and that you do not need to have continuous detox? So that's a big question to start asking. How can you bring your body back into alignment where you're not focusing on detoxing? When we think about, again, another detox mistake is not eating enough protein. Whereas again, when one is on a detox, protein intake is slightly lower than required. So that's important to pay attention to, because again, your protein is what's going to help you maintain and build more muscle tissue. And again, as we are in that chapter of life, we do require more protein to maintain muscle, whether or not you're strength training. Next factor to take in consideration is using juices to cleanse as a meal as opposed to having a meal. We want to pay attention to that. Skipping stretching training. That's another mistake. Ignoring hormonal impacts and not getting enough rest. So we want to pay attention to those 6 detox mistakes that most women make when making a decision to want to detox. So I know that I've shared a lot here, and I'm hoping that you've taken away something from this conversation for today, and that if you are someone that is practicing detox and cleansings, that perhaps after today you could sit down and really ask yourself your why. Are you detoxing? And if it is to the fact that you're detoxing, hoping to have a quick fix to seeing the scale number come down, remember, a part of that scale number coming down has to do with muscle as well. And the last thing you want to do as a woman in midlife, perimenopause or menopause, is start to lose muscle. Because once you lose muscle, it's not that easy to put muscle back on as you have caused an interruption in your metabolic system. So all that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and we're going to do a review of this entire conversation. Hello and welcome back. And yes, I was in the back dancing because that's such a catchy tune. Hopefully you're paying attention to those words, because those words are very powerful. Those words actually come from my bio. Anyway, if you are just tuning in, you're definitely going to have to come back and watch from the beginning, because you've definitely missed an amazing show. For those of you who don't know, you are watching Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Dr. Reverend Joanne Injuvari Cologne, and today's topic was all about detoxing in midlife, a holistic approach to nourishment, not deprivation. And I spoke about understanding the process of why we want to detox, why we're looking to cleanse. An even better question, as many would ask, is how often should I do a detox or cleanse? And the better answer to that would be, how can I support my body so it can function in harmony without constant cleansings? So, with all that being said, I do want to bring to your attention, if and when you are going to go through a detox, again, you could do detox rituals during full moon, equinox energy. You could do it during the seasons changing. And do be aware that you do not want to do a detox on all the seasons changing, because some of the seasons are a little more harsher than others. You do want to learn what your body, theoretically your body type, based on Ayurveda programming, what is your energy related to the energy of the seasons, and what would be the best time. And again, ideally, the recommendation based on numbers of detoxing, how often, if you're going to, based on ritual, is no more than twice a year. And in regards to small, very gentle, once a month to 1 to 3 days, you may choose to eat lighter meals such as soups, steamed vegetables, and clean proteins. Reduce sugar and alcohol and processed foods. Increase hydration, prioritize rest and reflection. And that, my dears, are the best way to help detox your body without putting your body under extreme stress. Because again, for us women in midlife, perimenopause, or menopause, we want to make sure we are nourishing our body, maintaining our circular system, maintaining our chakra system, and also keeping our nervous system in alignment. There are so many other things going on around us that creates that energy shifting, that we want to do the best to keep our bodies in the most healthiest state possible. So again, let's dive in. We always have promos to help you out. Right off the bat, we're going to talk a little bit about the coming magazine, Holistic Healings magazine, for the month of May. For the month of May, that's going to be coming in, our Mother's Day issue. There is a beautiful commercial for that, a flyer for that rather. And if you have not had a chance to catch any of the other magazines, you can go to my website, Holistic Fitness NY, and you can find all of the links to all of the magazines and get yourself all of them. But there you go. That is the May issue. Beautiful Ella, beautiful cover. We have amazing authors in there. We have some Mother Day features in there. There's so much for everybody. Next one, something brand new that's coming in. Something I've been working on behind the scenes, known as the Blood Sisters Portal. This is something that has actually stemmed, it's like a child of my book, The Menopausal Portal. Basically everything I've been chatting about for many, many, many weeks and months now. This is all about the Blood Sisters Portal. It literally is about the first bleed, the in-between, the midlife, the perimenopause, into counting to your very last bleed. There's going to be a magazine, a podcast, and also many different opportunities to come along. So if you are interested in being part of this amazing, amazing platform, please go ahead and reach out. My email is healingwithin76@gmail.com. Remember, this is a scarce space for women rising into their feminine wisdom. Remember, menopause is not about an ending. It's not about, oh my God, this is awful. This is really about pausing your masculine energy so you can tap into your feminine wisdom, wise years. So come and join me at the Blood Sisters Portal. There is a free Facebook group that you can definitely join if you are interested in that. Just go ahead and reach out to me. You can reach out to me through this comments here. Find me on Facebook, and I'll be more than happy to send you the link. Next, moving on, we have our author feature promo going on. If you are an author and you want to get your book in front of other people, bigger eyes. I know the promo ends tomorrow, which is April 7th, but if you mention that you saw this ad on this show tonight, I will be honored to offer you this amazing promo price, where you will receive one professional headshot, a short 50-word bio, a write-up about your book, 300 words, and of course the link to purchase your book and email, and you'll be featured in an upcoming issue of our amazing magazine. So all that being said, we have our final flyer, which is what I spoke about. 6 detoxing mistakes that women over 40 do make. Detoxing too frequently, not eating enough protein, using juice cleanses as a meal replacement, skipping strength training, and stretching for that matter, ignoring hormonal impact, and not getting enough rest. Rest is so essential when it comes to making sure our body is being aligned. If we do not get enough rest, our body is going to be out of alignment to begin with. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. Something for everybody. I'm super excited to be here with you today. I'm looking forward to be back here again the first Monday in May. I cannot believe we're already in April. The year is going quite quickly. Before you know, when we do come back in May, there'll be so much more to talk about. Until then, I'd like to thank you all so much for being here. Remember, our card was all about staying in faith, trusting what the matters are in your heart, and the entire month is about mastering in whatever it is you need to change as you move forward. Until we meet again, bye-bye for now.